Broncos country, I got a fun one in store for you, man. The Broncos had recently signed 13 undrafted free agents. There might even be more at the time of this video is recorded. And one of the guys is Clay Webb. And we're going to talk into why this is so significant for the Broncos. Why not only I think he's got the highest chance of making the 53-man roster of all the UDFAs, but also how he was involved in one of the nastiest, grossest, and worst types of high school pranks that you could ever imagine. And the worst part is he was the reason behind it all. So I don't know if you guys, are fans of drinking sports drinks like Gatorade or Powerade, but I very highly doubt that you're going to be fans of that after watching this video. But before we get into all the crazy nonsense, guys, check some of the other videos that I got out. If you love Denver sports and if you love the NFL draft, I'd appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. And before we get into just absolutely annihilating Clay Webb, we're going to talk about the positives about him as a player. And mind you, this incident that we will be talking about did happen 7 years ago when he was in high school in 2018. But Clay Webb is a former 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He spent his first 3 seasons at Georgia before transferring to Jacksonville State. He was absolutely dominant for the Gamecocks in 2023. He had an 87.5 grade that led all guards in the country. And he's, not only 85 plus grades as both a pass protector and a run blocker, he's also an elite athlete, placing him in the 98th percentile of PFF's GAS metric, which is basically like their version of the RAS score. And then they go on to say his level of competition will be a concern. He needs to add some strength, 290 pounds. And I think after you guys listen to the story, you'll realize why he might be running a little bit light. Right? He might be a little light in the pants, but maybe he's got an opportunity now with some maturity and with some NFL coaching and NFL strength and conditioning to be able to add a little bit of weight if he can keep it in his pants. But listen, he's a dominant player. He really is. There's no doubt about that. But here's the issue, all right? And I don't know how to feel about this. I joked a lot about this in the Discord about this is somebody that I feel like is going to be, a Kansas City Chiefs draft pick or an undrafted free agent because he kind of has that makeup. But here we are. The Denver Broncos signed him, and we'll talk about it. Anyways, let's get into it. So here we are. There was a lawsuit that a minor filed in 2020 through his father against Webb and others, okay, for an alleged incident that happened in 2018 when Webb was a high school football player. All right. Now, the lawsuit alleges that fellow students allowed for the plaintiff, which is Clay Webb in this case, and they encouraged him to unknowingly drink from a Powerade bottle that allegedly contained Clay Webb's semen. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, when we were all in high school, we would do our business in things that were a little bit more appropriate. Right? A sock, a napkin. We don't have to get into all the different ones, but you guys get the case. But not Clay Webb. Clay Webb decided that busting one out of his population paste into a Powerade bottle was smart. But taking it a step further, he tried to get somebody to drink it. And he got some of his friends behind him to work to try to convince this player to drink it as well. It's absolutely asinine. It's one of those stories where you feel like you're going to find it written in The Onion. You think maybe this is satire. There's no way this comes out. Now, the crazy part is the lawsuit is still ongoing. Go ahead and show this. That way, we can have everything sourced. This is from The Athletic. The lawsuit is ongoing as of April 2025, which is right now. And Webb told The Athletic in January interview that his lawyers have advised him to not comment on the alleged incidents. The Broncos do deep checks on NFL prospects, so they obviously understood that Clay Webb has an affinity for Powerade. Now, why he didn't do it in a Gatorade, I don't know. That's probably the first question that I would have asked him, to be honest with you. But that's also why I'm not in the front office of an NFL team. I would have been like, hey, man, what color was the Powerade? What did the guy do to deserve such bullying and such harm? But all jokes aside, this is still an ongoing investigation to this day, 7 years later. Now, I don't know what there is to investigate, right? They don't have the Powerade bottle. This is basically just he say, she say nonsense. Who knows? The fact that his lawyers have advised him to not comment on the alleged incident doesn't necessarily mean, oh, he doesn't want to make himself guilty, but he's probably just better off not saying anything that's going to help or hinder his overall draft stock. Well, ultimately, the price that he paid for it, regardless of if the story is actually true or not, the price that he paid was he went from potentially being a day 2 pick, maybe even a couple years ago, to having to leave Georgia to play at Jacksonville State for 3 more years. So he played 6 years of college football, was very dominant throughout those 6 years, by the way. And as a result, went undrafted in the 2025 NFL draft. He is 25 years old now. He's obviously going to be a lot older, a lot more mature. But listen, we were all stupid. We all did dumb things when we were in high school. There's no doubt about it. But anybody in my high school that would have done this, right, even as an adult, is, in my eyes, he's automatically still a terrible person, right? He still has terrible judgment. And maybe that's not fair for me to think, but it's pretty crazy. Anyways, Bronco fans, next time you guys go to Broncos training camp or you hear some reports about Clay Webb dominating, just remember that he is the guy that loaded one out into a Powerade bottle and tried to convince somebody to have a little sip of it, which is crazy. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Go Broncos. Clay Webb, for all jokes aside, I'll be rooting for you, my guy. You make Root Beer Atkins look like a saint. You really do. And best of luck to you this season, man. And also, keep it in your pants, brother. All right? Not very difficult. I think that's the best advice that I can give you. Y'all have a wonderful day, man. And oh, yeah,